The story of global warming will end with a changed climate. That's inevitable at this point.
Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica, are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise.
When all of the ice on the planet has melted, in South America, the Amazon River and Paraguay River basins will turn into the Atlantic Ocean. The capital of Argentina, Buenos Aires, most of Paraguay, and the whole of Uruguay will all be underwater. China will lose land which is now home to about 600 million people. Following them, Bangladesh, with a population of 160 million people, and most of India will go underwater.
Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme.
And warmer air can hold more water vapor than cooler air. So as storms ramp up and get ready to release water vapor in the form of rain, they have more to draw upon, leading to more and heavier rainfalls in an average storm.
This means not only more intense major storms, floods, and heavy snowfall, but also longer and more frequent droughts. These changes in weather pose challenges. Growing crops becomes more difficult. The areas where plants and animals can live shift, and water supplies are diminished. In addition to creating new agricultural challenges, climate change can directly affect people's physical health. In urban areas, the warmer atmosphere creates an environment that traps and increases the amount of smog. Exposure to higher levels of smog can cause health problems such as asthma, heart disease, and lung cancer.
If we are exposed to intensive sunlight and therefore solar radiation for too long, the beneficial effects are eclipsed by detrimental ones. The most serious of them is the development of skin cancer. UV rays can be classified into 3 ranges according to their wavelengths: UVA, UVB, and UVC.
Around the world, renewable energy use is on the rise. And these alternative energy sources could hold the key to combating climate change. What is renewable energy? Renewable energy is generated from sources that naturally replenish themselves and never run out. The most common sources are solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and biomass. Over 80% of the total energy consumed by humans is derived from fossil fuels. However, renewables are the fastest growing source of energy in the world. Renewable energy has many benefits. First, it can combat climate change because it creates no direct greenhouse gas emissions. The only emissions that they produce are indirect, meaning those that result from manufacturing parts, installation, operation, and maintenance. But even those are minimal. Second, renewable energy can decrease pollution and therefore reduce threats to our health.
Consumers can help by saving energy around the house and driving fewer miles in the car each week.
Beijing is planting a Great Green Wall of China, 4,800 kilometers by 1,500 kilometers along the border of the Gobi Desert. This ambitious project was launched in 1978. 66 billion trees have been planted so far. In this province, it's been a success. The new forest of shrubs is acting like a buffer zone. It's even gaining on the desert.
Before all of this, there was only desert. It took 15 years to create this oasis.
Rainforest sustainability has even bred a number of new business opportunities as well. Biocarbon engineering was started by a former NASA employee, Lauren Fletcher. The company uses drone technology to reforest on a large scale by firing seeds into the ground. 2 people planting trees can plant up to 3,000 a day, but a team operating 10 drones can plant up to 400,000.
It's called carbon engineering, and it uses a combination of giant fans and complex chemical processes to remove CO2 from the air in a procedure known as direct air capture.
We have such a huge problem with CO2 already in the atmosphere that if we have a mechanism to collect it at large scale, it will give us so much more flexibility in addressing climate change. One of our plants does the work of 40 million trees.
We need more renewables, we need more direct air capture, we need more carbon capture and storage, we need more nature-based solutions, we need more informed policy development, because the challenge of climate change means that the time for picking winners is gone. This is about taking an all-of-the-above approach because the challenge is so great.
According to the United Nations, the Kyoto Protocol is an agreement linked to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which commits its parties to setting internationally binding emission reduction targets. Since being adopted in December 1997, the protocol has been active since February 2005. The protocol enacts a stricter policy on developed nations because it recognizes that developed countries are mostly responsible for the large amounts of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Some of the 192 countries that have signed the agreement include Australia, China, Russia, Japan, and every nation in the European Union. The United States and Afghanistan are two of the only developed countries who have not signed. Although only a small number of countries haven't signed the Kyoto Protocol, its benefits outweigh the negatives. The main objective of the Kyoto Protocol is to reduce the amount of harmful chemicals that are pumped into the atmosphere. It does this by establishing a structure of rolling emission reduction commitment periods for its members to abide by.